Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and today I'm continuing my playthrough of Mortal Kombat 1. In the previous episode, I covered chapters 1 and 2, so if you did not see that, you were not missing too much. I will go ahead and do a quick summary just to cover the bare basics, and then we'll go ahead and get into chapter 3. So, long story short, the previous game ended with Liu Kang getting godlike powers from Raiden, and he is now Fire God Liu Kang, and he also gained the ability to shape time however he wanted. And since time was damaged so much in the previous game, he just went ahead and reset the entire timeline. So everything that happens in Mortal Kombat 1 is that new timeline, and some characters have fared better in the new timeline than others. In the very first cutscene of this game, we got to see that Shang Tsung, the franchise favorite villain, was one of the characters not faring so well. Turns out he is no longer an all-powerful magical sorcerer. Instead, he's having to settle for life as a con artist on the road. And it is not going too great. In fact, we got to see him getting his ass kicked whenever his con was discovered. But then he was approached by the villain of the previous game, Kronika. She explains this should not have been his fate, and she offered him the chance at true power and a new destiny. It's implied that he accepted, and then we got into the actual plot, which is basically just catching up on characters we used to know. The two that we got to highlight were Kung Lao and johnnycage. Kung Lao was just living life as a farmer alongside a human Raiden, since Liu Kang is now the god, not Raiden. And johnnycage was still doing his famous actor thing, only it turned out he had at one point used his fortune to buy Sento, Kenshi's sword in the previous timeline, and the Kenshi of this timeline sought it out. Those two fought, johnnycage won, and johnnycage retained the sword. It was about that point that Liu Kang had approached all of these characters I described, Kung Lao, Raiden, johnnycage, and Kenshi, and explained he wanted them to be his champions to represent Earth in his new version of the Mortal Kombat tournament. That's pretty much everything that happened in the previous episode. We're going to be picking up with these characters and seeing how exactly they've been training after they were selected to participate in the tournament. And in this episode, we're also going to get to see what that tournament looks like now. All right, that's enough build up. Let's go ahead and get into it. And of course, Kung Lao gets the razor hat as soon as we're not using him.
That is not a good idea.
It is genius, Raiden. The next time we see Sub-Zero, I will have to thank him for inspiring it.
Ow! See? It won't be effective. Maybe it's too effective.
We just need to get on with it. I've been cooped up here for months. I can't base a cinematic universe on Outworld's monsters and magic if I don't ever see them.
That's why you're here?
Liu Kang said this gig would change the arc of my life. That's how it gets done. My ex will rue the day she gave up on me.
So selfless.
Oh, please, Tattoo. You're just here to get your sword back.
We all have our reasons for being here. Some better than others. But we are not here to fight among ourselves. We are here to fight for Earthrealm.
It's about damn time.
And today, one of you will be chosen to fight for it at the tournament.
Only one of us, Lord Liu Kang? Isn't Outworld fielding several champions?
The tournament's rules give the host realm that advantage. And it is Outworld's turn as host.
You know, I don't know why I've never asked this, but, what's our record at this tournament?
Earthrealm and Outworld have long been evenly matched. But Outworld is gaining strength. Should it win, its more militant factions will be emboldened.
I thought you admired Outworld.
It is a place of great knowledge, wealth, and beauty. But our realms do not share goals and beliefs. We coexist peacefully, because Outworld respects our strength. Should we show weakness, our rival will become our enemy.
I will not lose, Lord Liu Kang.
First, you must win the right to represent us. Whichever one of you outlasts the others will be chosen. Raiden, step forward.
Good call. Cole the weak first.
You shall face him, Johnny Cage.
Ready for your close-up?
All right, let's do this. But remember, farm boy, I'm a global martial arts icon. I don't think you can handle this much boom.
I am ready, Johnny Cage. My mind and spirit fight as one.
Fight!
Now, in the very first fight for this episode, we have Raiden versus Johnny Cage. So the group went ahead and informed us that they have been here at the Wuxi Academy training for several months. That being said, Johnny had just wrapped up filming a movie. So I kind of find it funny that he has been here for months, rather than out, promoting the film that's about to be released or just got released or something along those lines. Like, this guy could be doing interviews, he could be doing commercials, he could just be doing any number of gimmicks in order to get the movie's name out there. But nah, fuck that, we don't have to worry about that thing succeeding. We are here fighting at the Wuxi Academy to train to fight extra-dimensional beings. Which, whenever I word it like that, that does sound kind of amazing, so I do not blame you, Johnny, that sounds way cooler. And like Liu Kang explained in the cutscene, we are here fighting as Raiden in order to try and earn our place as the main champion fighting in the tournament. So I am kind of curious about the qualification matches and how they're structured. The reason I say that is Liu Kang said that you have to eliminate everybody in order to advance as the champion for the tournament. The thing is, the other contestants are not fighting against each other. And since we are the one playing as Raiden, it's only Raiden versus everybody. Like, why did Raiden draw the short end of the stick? How come no one else in the group has to fight anybody else? It has to be Raiden versus everybody.
This fight was an honor.
Call me crazy, but it kind of sounds like Raiden is being singled out here. That's not very cool, Liu Kang.
You're welcome.
Kenshi Takahashi, you are next.
You have skills, Raiden, but you're inexperienced.
Whatever experience I lack, I make up for in heart.
It's nerve, not heart, that wins fights. I should know. I've been in hundreds of them.
Fight!
You know what, I just said that it seems like Raiden is being singled out just a little bit, and my feelings about that are only getting stronger with this fight. Now, the main reason I'm saying that is because, well, Kenshi's being allowed to bring a sword to a hand-to-hand combat fight. Like, what the fuck? Why does he get to use a weapon? Now, obviously, from a gameplay perspective, Kenshi was designed to fight with a sword, so it's not like the creators could just take that away and his character still work in this fight, so yeah, I get the mechanics, I get why that's there. But from a storytelling standpoint, it really does just seem like Raiden is being fucked over, like they want this man to lose. Not only does he have to fight everybody else and they don't have to fight each other, he is now having to fight against a sword with his bare hands. Like, geez, Raiden, what the fuck did you do to piss everybody off? And I already kind of spilled the beans that Raiden is being tested to be the main champion for the Mortal Kombat tournament, and he's having to fight all of the characters that are participating as fellow champions. Now that's 3 other people, and normally, a chapter would just be 4 fights. There are very few exceptions to that. Well, if Raiden only had 4 fights, it would pretty much almost be over by the time he ended up finishing his fights against his fellow champions. But then he would still have to fight in the Mortal Kombat tournament, so yeah, that's not happening. Instead, Raiden gets the honor of having the longest chapter in this game.
Do you still question my nerve?
I do not. Yours was a well-earned victory.
You may rest, Raiden. This evening, you will face your final opponent.
Well, I guess nothing important happened between the last fight and now, making that time jump kind of pointless. But hey, Wuxi Academy at night.
$50 says Kung Lao wins.
Make it interesting. Bet me cento.
Not on your life.
Raiden, Kung Lao. The winner of this match will represent Earthrealm against Outworld. It is a grave duty, not to be undertaken lightly. You may step back now and suffer no dishonor.
I choose to fight, Lord Liu Kang.
As do I.
Then may the best person win.
Concede, Raiden. You have never beaten me. That won't change today.
No. If the monks have taught us one thing, it's that the only constant in the universe is change.
Fight!
All right, we have a battle between the characters with the really cool hats. We have Raiden versus Kung Lao. And that being said, yet again I feel like Raiden is being set up to fail. His final test is fighting Kung Lao. But why the hell is Kung Lao not being tested in the same way? Why is this man getting a 2-round bye and only having to fight in the finale? Like, I know Kung Lao was your buddy back in the old timeline, Liu Kang, but man, you gotta ease up on the preferential treatment for Kung Lao. Oh, and you're allowing him to also bring a weapon into this fight, this hand-to-hand combat fight. So yet again, Raiden is only able to use his fists, but Kung Lao is getting to use the hat that he demonstrated decapitating a dummy earlier. Yeah, sure, that sounds totally fair. And also earlier I was talking about how Raiden is pretty much going to be taking up more time in this game than any other character. And it all takes place in this chapter. If I remember correctly, he ends up having 7 fights in his chapter, and that's kind of wild. So yeah, get ready to see a lot of Raiden in this chapter. In fact, I don't even think we have time for another character. This might be an only Raiden episode, which is fine. It should be plenty long enough. I mean, usually I want my videos to be 45 minutes to an hour whenever it comes to these story modes, but I have had to make them shorter in the past for similar reasons. Whenever a person's chapter is a little bit longer, it gets a little bit harder to fit other characters in, and generally speaking, whenever a person has a long chapter, it ends up being kind of a shorter episode. So there's a really good chance in this case I don't even make the 45-minute mark.
There is a first time for everything, Kung Lao.
Although you have all trained well, Raiden has excelled. This outcome does not surprise me.
How could I have... Congratulations, Raiden.
For the tournament, you will need this. Forged by the Elder Gods, it gives the wearer power over lightning and thunder. Go ahead, try it.
It is incredible. But is it necessary?
In addition to possessing great might, the Outworlders you will face also wield great magic. The amulet levels the playing field.
You must be careful, Raiden. You could get hurt. Even killed.
No tournament participant has ever been grievously injured or killed. I would never send my champions unwittingly into mortal combat. We leave in 7 days for Outworld's capital, Sundo. The tournament will be held at the palace of Empress Sindel. Outworld can be both alien and intoxicating to Earthrealmers. Do not become drawn in. You must focus on the task at hand.
I have a feeling we're not Kansas anymore. Oh my. Are those?
Empress Sindel's daughters, yes.
They do not disappoint.
We are Earthrealm's ambassadors, Johnny. We'll show them respect, not unwanted attention.
Lord Liu Kang, welcome.
Thank you, Princess Melina.
You remember my sister?
Of course. Princess Kitana. May I introduce Johnny Cage, Kung Lao, Kenshi Takahashi, and Earthrealm's champion, Raiden.
I hope you're prepared, Raiden. Our champions are determined to win.
None more so than me. It's been too long since we've known victory.
Princess Melina, we should be on our way. Empress Sindel awaits.
Thank you, Tanya. Follow me, please. The six-armed beings are Knock-Noddins.
The monks described them, but seeing them in person?
I see that Her Majesty once again spares no expense on the festival.
Should she not? It commemorates my late father.
I admire, Princess. I do not judge. As did all of Outworld, I valued greatly Jared's fellowship.
First Constable, our route was to be clear. This couldn't wait?
Should I allow Tarkatans to infect the city, Your Highness? Those arrested were harboring some here, rather than report them for quarantine.
The Earthrealmers cannot be privy to our secrets, limei. As Sundo's first constable, you must show better judgment. Perhaps that's too much to expect.
Princess Melina doesn't seem to like her very much.
Limei used to lead the Umgadi, the palace guard. It was on her watch that the princess's father was murdered. Worry expends energy for no purpose, Raiden.
But the tournament, if I lose...
Focus on your actions, not the outcome. It is all you can control.
Red alert. Incoming stock villain.
Generalshao. Do not let him goad you.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about Shao's new horns. They look alright, but it still kind of feels out of place.
Is it me? Or is Earthrealm's champion scrawnier than usual?
Would you care to test his strength? Raiden
will prove himself soon enough.
Have you still not told most Earthrealmers that Outworld exists?
It is safer that way, General.
I suppose so. Your people's frail minds couldn't handle the truth.
You presume them frail, General. Should you, given how frequently they win this tournament?
We will destroy your champion, Liu Kang. He will taste no victory.
Welcome, members of the Royal House. Welcome, our esteemed Earthrealm guests. We gather once again to honor my late husband's legacy, to continue the tournament that he founded with Lord Liu Kang, in hopes that it would foster peace among realms. May Jared's soul watch over us with pride from its resting place in the living forest. Lord Liu Kang.
Empress Sindel, it pleases me to once again be your guest.
Here, you are always welcome. Now, let us meet your champion.
Earthrealm's champion is Raiden, Your Majesty. He has earned his place by embodying the very best qualities of Earthrealm's people.
You seem nervous, young man.
I'm a stranger in an unfamiliar land, here to compete against its greatest fighters. Yes, I am nervous.
As you should be. You have a difficult path ahead.
Alright, it may not be a crazy tournament to the death anymore, but it is still Mortal Kombat. Let's go ahead and get this tournament going.
It has begun. As tradition requires, Outworld's initial competitor will be Sundo's first constable, Limei. May she defend our realm's glory, as well as she preserves our capital's order.
Your Majesty, I will honor both the Royal House and all of Outworld with my combat.
If so, you will vastly exceed my expectations. Remember, were it not for Jared's tradition, you would not be here.
Limei really does just deal with all the most undeserved bullshit in this game.
All you need do is your best. The rest will take care of itself.
Yes, Lord Liu Kang.
Shall we see what you can do?
Hopefully, this will be the first of many victories.
I will prevail, Earthrealmer. This fight is more important to me than you can ever know.
Fight!
Alright, it is time for Raiden's very first time fighting as the official champion for Earthrealm. And the great part about that is, now that we are facing off against Limei as the official champion, we get the entire moveset for Raiden. At least I think we do. Prior to now, in the last 3 fights, I was fighting on a much more condensed version of Raiden. And by that I mean he had none of his lightning attacks, which make up a large part of his arsenal as a character in this game. So yeah, way more limited, and that was probably very evident in how I was playing the character, considering I really was not sure what I wanted to do with him. I was just kind of scrambling to get any meaningful damage I could against my opponents, since I was using like 1/3 of the character. But we should not have that problem anymore. Granted, I'm not going to have like incredible damage output with Raiden, but I will at least have the full set of tools I need in order to try and breeze through the remainder of this chapter. Now, the scenario I described for you is something that we have seen before with other characters. Back in the very first chapter, we saw this with Kung Lao because he did not have his hat, so any attacks he had relevant to his hat, I could not do. With johnnycage, even though I did not realize it at the time, in fact, I said that he had his full moveset at the time, well, that was not the case either. I completely forgot about his whole star power gimmick, and he did not have that in his chapter. Or at least not for a few fights of it.
Thank you for the match, First Constable.
Take care of yourself, Limei. We'll be seeing you again later when most of the royal family continues to treat you like shit.
My compliments, Raiden, on a well-fought match. We'll see how you fare in the next. generalshao, whom have you chosen as our next competitor?
Your Majesty, I have chosen Reiko, my second in command. As a boy, Reiko was orphaned during the Kafala War. Though captured, his spirit remained unbroken. He scratched, clawed, and survived. After the war, I took him in, molded him into the perfect soldier. Few others are as well versed in the ways of war.
In whose army have you served? In what wars have you fought?
I have done neither.
Then you are woefully unprepared, Earthrealmer. This will be your last battlefield. Fight!
So every single character we have played up to this point has not had their full range of abilities and combos and just everything they need to make these fights a hell of a lot easier. Which they're not all that difficult, but you get the idea. So yeah, I think here with Raiden, this is the very first time we are playing a character with their full set of abilities. Oh no, wait, I am forgetting about johnnycage again. He did have his full range of abilities for at least a couple of fights. Unfortunately, that does not mean that every character we play after Raiden also has their full range of abilities. I can think of at least one more we still have to play who does not get that luxury, but we will get to that whenever we reach that chapter. But I will go ahead and stop talking about the gameplay mechanics for a moment, and I'll go ahead and focus on the story that is taking place in this story mode. In the previous fight and in this fight, we are getting introduced to new characters in the story, and on top of this being the first time we have faced off against Reiko and Limei in this game, this is the first time we've had the opportunity to fight against these characters in just a really long time when looking at the entire Mortal Kombat franchise. In fact, both of those characters were not playable in the last few games, and the last time they were both playable happened to be in the same game as back in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Reiko making his debut back in Mortal Kombat 4, and Limei making her appearance in what was Mortal Kombat 5, otherwise known as Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Which makes them both characters who were introduced back in the 3D era of Mortal Kombat. They have not got much love since then, but that just makes getting to see them again here all the better.
Felled by a simple farmer. I am ready for my next opponent, Your Majesty. Whom shall I face?
Patience, young man. We are adjourned until first light. I hope to see you all at this evening's banquet.
Alright, time to get some descriptions on some characters that are not going to be relevant for a little while.
I'm sorry, you're 10,000 years old? Oh, talk about aging gracefully.
What do you see in him?
He is a hero, Raiden, though he may not yet know it. Do you recognize everyone here?
Most, yes. From your descriptions. Except for him.
That is Rain, the High Mage of Outworld. Not his given name, but one earned due to his mastery of water magic.
Are you unwell, Princess?
I am fine, Tanya.
I know I'm to fight Melina, but will I also face Tanya?
By tradition, you should not. If you did, you would be tested.
Why?
Umgadi, like Tanya, are warrior priestesses, selected from the firstborn daughters of Outworld. From infancy, they are trained to defend the royal family.
Outworld must see much conflict if the Empress needs such protection.
Its past has been difficult, though the last 1,000 years of Empress Sindel's reign have been a true golden age. The memories of that strife still linger.
My husband Jared believed that the future of our realms lay together. Let us move forward in open dialogue, letting no secrets tear our bonds asunder.
Your Majesty, it's an honor to be here and to meet your people. I can already see there's more that joins us than divides us.
Our peoples could not be more different, champion.
Excuse me?
You heard me. Earthrealmers are devoid of all...
That's enough, General.
My apologies, Your Majesty. Perhaps I've enjoyed too much of this excellent wine. With your permission...
You may go. It is bad enough we may lose to the Earthrealmers, but then you go and drunkenly insult them? You needlessly stain my honor and your family's proud military tradition.
May I speak freely, Your Majesty?
Again with this? If you must.
We must act on the sorcerer's prophecy. He warns that Liu Kang will conquer Outworld.
And his predictions are usually impeccable. But I've no proof of Liu Kang's ill intent. His interventions have kept Outworld at peace for centuries.
He herds us into compromises, shackles our independence. If we could meet our enemies in battle, we'll take—
You would consign us to endless war!
Better that than be Liu Kang's lapdog.
If I see evidence of the prophecy's accuracy, we will act. But only then, and only at my command. Did not your illustrious father teach you that war is the last resort, not the first?
He did, Your Majesty.
Do not forget that, General. Come.
You asked to see us?
I saw what happened this evening.
There was nothing. Something I ate.
Was it? I can't chance it, can I? If you fight tomorrow, the symptoms of your disease could manifest. Kitana will take your place.
What? There are already whispers she should replace me as your heir. This will make them screams!
Your illness is your fault. Why you left the palace that night unattended is still beyond me.
I just needed time alone, away from all this. I never thought that...
That's your problem, Melina. You never think.
A mother is only trying to protect you, sister. If your disease becomes known, you will be banished to the wastes. For you to hold the throne, we must keep your secret.
You continue to surprise Raiden. Among others, you have defeated Kotal, Motaro, and Shiva. Only 2 fights remain. Are you ready, Earthrealmer?
I am, Your Majesty.
Then next, you face my daughter, Kitana.
Your Majesty, this is unprecedented. Raiden's next opponent should be your heir.
Melina is unavailable. She's away on pressing Imperial business.
But I have not prepared him to battle Kitana.
He's already demonstrated great skill. Can he not improvise?
Do not worry. I can do this.
Very well.
I will be no easier to fight than my sister, Earthrealmer.
I suffer under no such delusion, Your Highness.
I will win this fight. For her, my Empress, and all of Outworld. Fight!
But yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap up my feelings on Reiko and Limei making their return in this game, which is one that I am really happy about. And I am happy to see them return. In fact, there were a few returning characters in this game that made me pretty happy. But I can't get ahead of myself just yet. Let's go ahead and finish up the matter at hand, and we'll talk about that whenever they appear. So with this fight, we are taking a step away from characters returning for the first time in a very long time, and instead we are facing a character that I don't think NetherRealm has the balls to leave out of a game. Because Kitana has been in pretty much every single game for at least the last 6 games. So yeah, Kitana is definitely on the list of characters who have been in pretty much every single Mortal Kombat game with just an exception here or there. Like, I don't think she was in Mortal Kombat Deception, and she was not in the original Mortal Kombat, and those are the only 2 examples that are coming to mind. So something that is kind of cool about this game and the story it is telling is that for the very first time, Kitana is not the heir to some throne in relation to Outworld or Edenia. Instead, that honor goes to Melina, which was a huge change for this game because in the previous timeline, Melina was a clone of Kitana. So yeah, Melina was some crazy science experiment created by Shang Tsung. But here in the new timeline, she is a legitimate daughter to Sindel and the older sister to Kitana, which they were always kind of considered sisters in the past, even though they were actually just a clone and an original. Here it is a real sibling situation. There was just a lot of stuff changed here, and it does make Kitana kind of less relevant for the main story, but I do like the changes.
You fight well, Princess.
As do you, Earthrealmer. Surprisingly so.
I hope we meet again. Under different circumstances.
It's time for the final match. It's a testament to your abilities that you've made it thus far. But now you must face generalshao. Victor of the Tavarian War, conqueror of the Kwatan Plains, defender of the Navala Coast. As has his family for generations, generalshao defends us with zeal and tenacity. All of Outworld is grateful for his service.
That's a notable list of accomplishments, General.
It is a mere fraction of them. A full recitation would take days.
Alright, it is time for another returning character who also had some changes in the new timeline. Here we are facing off against generalshao, and his changes are one that I am very confident I'm going to be screwing up at least a little bit throughout this playthrough. The change I'm referring to is he used to be Shao Kahn. Kahn was the title that I suppose was supposed to be representative of who was the Emperor of Outworld, and he has been Shao Kahn in every single game dating all the way back to Mortal Kombat 2. So I am very used to him being Shao Kahn. Him being generalshao is very new to me, and it took me a very long time to get kind of used to calling him generalshao just for this game. It still feels unnatural and wrong, but I'm kind of used to it now. Now, since I'm only kind of used to it, I am very certain that at some point I'm going to slip up and call him Shao Kahn, but just know, I mean generalshao. But yeah, here he is no longer the ruler of Outworld, he is just the military leader serving under Sindel.
It's over. I have done it.
Congratulations, Raiden. Earthrealm wins.
May I assist you?
Stay away, Earthrealmer.
Good old Shao is a stubborn asshole until the very end.
Well done. You have exceeded my greatest expectations.
Thank you, Lord Liu Kang.
Because of you, the Outworlders who would disturb the peace will once again be held at bay. Come, let us bid our hosts farewell and return to Earthrealm.
All right, yeah. That was great. Very impressive.
Alright, and after an extended chapter, it is finally time to move the plot of this game along.
Geras, my old friend. It's been eons. It's good to see you.
Likewise, Lord Liu Kang. I have watched you with the hourglass. You are relishing your role as Earthrealm's protector.
It suits me far better than being Keeper of Time ever did. I never wanted to replace Chronica. Being history's architect drove her mad. I had no wish to share her fate. Which is why I am forever grateful that you volunteered to safeguard the hourglass. Despite my having relinquished its power, the new era has unfolded as it should.
You created me in your own image. Duty is my highest calling.
While I am glad you are here, you are not one for social calls. Is there trouble with the hourglass?
With something it has shown me.
What, Geras?
When you restarted history, you altered the destinies of certain malefactors to neutralize them. At least one of them is defying that destiny. Shang Tsung.
Go on.
He has escaped his meaningless life and is on his way to becoming a powerful sorcerer. He has already infiltrated Sindel's court.
I saw no sign of him during the tournament. But if that snake is in Sindel's ear...
Your vision of peace may already be compromised.
I appreciate this warning, Giris. I will investigate. Please return to the Hourglass and see what else you can learn.
And that is going to be our stopping point for this episode. So yeah, it has been all Raiden the entire time, and we are coming up on just under the 45-minute mark, so this is pretty much as good of an ending as we are going to get because we're not going to have time for another character. That's alright though, let's go ahead and get into it. What exactly happened in this episode? Well, we followed up on our champions who were exercising and getting ready, getting in fighting shape at the Wuxi Academy. At that point, Liu Kang held a competition among the champions to see who would be the true champion for Earthrealm, and Raiden, despite being put at a huge disadvantage having to fight everybody, to include the people who were using weapons when he had none of his own, ended up becoming the true champion for Earthrealm. They then went on to Outworld, and we got introduced to the royalty of that realm, that being Empress Sindel and her daughters Melina and Kitana. We also got to meet the Constable Limei and the military leader generalshao. Oh, and we also met Reiko, who is also a high-ranking military official. Now, Raiden ended up facing off against pretty much all of them with the exception of Melina and Sindel, and he beat everybody he went up against, leading to an Earthrealm victory. Now, none of that really moves the plot along, so I went ahead and showed that last cutscene just to kind of get an idea of where this story is going. That final cutscene was Liu Kang and Geras talking, with the revelation that Shang Tsung has deviated from the path that Fire God Liu Kang put him on. As a reminder, he was just a con artist at the very beginning of this game, and not a very successful one at that. But according to Geras, he is going down a new path and actually learning magic, actually becoming the sorcerer he used to be. So, going into the next episode, the main focus is going to be our champions going to investigate and figure out what is going on with Shang Tsung. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to check out some of the other stuff I have going on the Thor's Entertainment channel. I do have playthroughs of other Mortal Kombat games if you're enjoying this. And on top of that, I do have plenty of online gameplay for Mortal Kombat 1. Typically, I'll go brutality and fatality hunting in the Combat League, and all of that can be seen under the Mortal Kombat 1 online playlist. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say for now. Thank you again for watching. Take care, and I will see you next time.